Good morning. Good morning and welcome to Thursday. I have been so inspired and invigorated by each and every speaker that we have seen up here this week and by each discussion that I have been in. I hope you've been having the same kind of a week. I am proud to be here this morning as part of a U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service that said, let's take a little time out. Let's think about what kind of a refuge system we want to have in the future. Let's ask, what do we want to leave for future generations? And because we asked those questions, we started this journey that we've been on over the many months, working on creating a renewed and unified vision for the finest system of conservation lands in the world. We started out our week together with the Secretary of the Wisconsin Department of Natural Resources, Kathy Stepp. And she said something that really stuck with me. Maybe you noted it as well. But she said that she is most appreciative of the work that the service does throughout the entire refuge system, not in her role as Secretary of the Department of Natural Resources, but in her role as a mom. As a mom. And that really resonated with me, and I'm guessing with many of you, whether or not you are parents, because I know that we do what we do day in and day out, not only because we care so deeply about this refuge system and about our enjoyment of it during our time on this planet, but because we care deeply and are driven at a fundamental level, for some of us even a spiritual level, to care about what kind of a planet we are leaving behind for our children and their children and all future generations. We are creating not only a vision for the refuge system, but a vision for the legacy that we are leaving for those generations. Who could have been a better spokesperson for that idea than Dr. Sylvia Earle? She blew me away. She was up here, I know I'm not very tall, but she was up here just barely peeking over this podium. And she was so inspiring and just a little bit irreverent. And she reminded us that as humans, we can and we are, if we're not careful, changing the nature of nature. So while she was here to speak about transferring Aldo Leopold's land ethic to the oceans, for me, her message was even broader than that. I really heard her speaking to us about what kind of a planet, what is the health of the planet that we are leaving behind for those future generations. And I think that those of you who were fortunate enough to hear her this week will not soon forget that she created a new verb for us when she talked about how well we as humans have been doing marsifying the earth. And she gave us something else we won't forget, I think, when she put a new twist on our old favorite and she exhorted us to leave no child dry. She told us that, you may have caught at the end of her presentation, she told us that when she speaks to children, she tells them that they are the luckiest generation on earth. The luckiest generation. Because, she said, we know what's wrong. We generally know what to do to fix it. The luckiest generation. What a way to inspire children and create hope for the future. And Greg, with those children from the Prairie Wetlands Learning Center, nothing that we could write in our outreach materials or nothing that I could say up here today could speak as loudly as those children did by just sharing with us their experience at that learning center, just by telling us what happened with them there. It was clear to me, and I'm sure for many of you who listened, that because that center is there and they could participate in it, they moved from a largely indoor existence to really being woken up to the wonders of the outside. Those children are our future voters. They are our future refuge visitors. They are perhaps our future employees. They are the future. Creating those kind of opportunities for children must be a part of our shared vision. So this morning, we turn our attention to translating this shared vision into action. Sylvia Earle told us, we know the problems, we know what to do, and I know that those of you in this room have the will to make it happen. We are lucky. We have talented employees, we have very dedicated leaders, and we have phenomenal partners to help us turn this vision into a reality. So now is the time for us to be moved to action. At the end of this day, this conference will be over, but our real work will begin. And as Jim Kurth reminded us yesterday, there are no opportunities for action in the past. Now is the time for action. Let's get into the moment. We have a very impressive array of speakers lined up this morning to talk to us about translating vision into reality and to inspire us to do that. In developing and implementing a vision for the National Wildlife Refuge System, we have as primary partners our state fish and wildlife conservation agencies. Primary partners in conservation, partners with no daylight between us. It is fitting then that our first speaker this morning comes to us as the president of the Association of Fish and Wildlife Agencies. Like so many of you in the audience, Curtis Taylor has spent his career working on behalf of wildlife. He was named Chief of the Wildlife Resources Section of the West Virginia Department of Natural Resources in 2001. He's responsible for the management of all of West Virginia's wildlife for the enjoyment of its citizens. He has risen through the ranks of a department that he has served for more than 30 years. He's a nationally distinguished leader in his field. He directed a groundbreaking study on wild turkey population dynamics, and he also conducted the first study of ocellated turkeys in Guatemala for Wildlife Conservation International and the Hornecker Wildlife Institute. He received the National Wild Turkey Federation's highly coveted Henry S. Mosby Award in 2005. Curtis understands the threats to wildlife that concern all of us here today. While he was working on the impacts of energy to fish and wildlife resources, Curtis was quoted as saying, "Energy does not come without a price. Let's make sure wildlife doesn't get stuck with the bill." When Curtis Taylor became president of the Association of Fish and Wildlife Agencies in 2010, Congressman Nick Rahal noted that he brought to the job not only a wealth of experience and expertise, but a real passion and dedication for the family traditions of hunting and fishing. Those are traditions that we in the Fish and Wildlife Service also hold dear, and those are fully recognized in this vision document that our state partners have helped us create. Curtis understands leadership too, and he understands a principle we've heard, I think, repeated on this stage a bit this week. He's been quoted as saying, "I don't care how good a leader people think you are. We all know that without the people in the field doing the work, nothing gets done." Please help me welcome Curtis Taylor to the podium.
Whoa. Good morning. And I really apologize for not being here more of the day yesterday, but I found out what Delta really means. Doesn't ever leave the airport. But I thank you for this opportunity to join you at this milestone conference, which will help sharpen the direction of the National Wildlife Refuge System. The state fish and wildlife agencies have a long and vested interest in working cooperatively with the Fish and Wildlife Service to ensure the conservation successes of the National Wildlife Refuges. And we look forward to furthering those conservation successes together through this renewed vision for the refuge system. The old adage, "May you live in interesting times," is certainly fulfilled today. Challenges to conservation have always existed and have always been overcome by individuals in all sectors: government, industry, NGOs, and private citizens, dedicating themselves to work to move conservation forward. The history of conservation in the U.S. is replete with those individuals, from President Teddy Roosevelt to Aldo Leopold to Dean Darling and Rachel Carson. It's also replete with benchmarks of national conservation legislation, from the Migratory Bird Treaty Act to the Pittman-Robertson-Dingell-Johnson Act to the National Wildlife Refuge System Improvement Act. Much of our foundational conservation legislation was enacted during austere or even dire economic times. Today, we find ourselves again in very austere economic times. Most state fish and wildlife agencies, for several years, have endured budget cuts, program reductions, and even staff dismissals because of funding reductions. As you well know, the federal government finds itself now in similar circumstances. Such economic circumstances compel us to enhance our federal-state cooperation in order to meet conservation objectives for all of our citizens. It's good government to do that anyway, but it is now an absolute necessity because of declining budgets and declining capacity. We also need to work together to get the message across to our citizens and, more importantly, our elected officials at all levels. And that message is that spending on conservation pays huge returns on investment. The mindset we need to overcome at all levels is that when the economy is good, we can afford conservation. But when the economy is bad, conservation is a luxury that we cannot afford. If we fail to overcome this mindset, we run the real risk of conservation spending losing its relevancy to not just elected officials, but to the public as well. We simply cannot allow that to happen. As you know, the economic data support our argument that conservation spending can help grow the economy at all levels, from local to national. The Fish and Wildlife Service 2006 National Survey on hunting, fishing, and wildlife-dependent recreation substantiates that. These activities contribute $122 billion, that's billion with a B, annually to the national economy. A recent outdoor recreation industry survey substantiates that all outdoor recreation contributes $730 billion to the national economy. Conservation spending keeps our citizens on working farms, ranches, and forests, where they produce affordable agriculture and forest commodities in ways that are environmentally sustainable. Jobs in agriculture, forest products, and commercial fishing number in the millions. Conservation programs provide ecosystem services to our citizens in the form of clean water, flood and erosion remediation, carbon sequestration, and clean air, in addition to providing recreational opportunities. Plus, conservation supports quality of life for our citizens. After all, good habitat for fish and wildlife is good for people. We need to broadcast this message far and wide. So now let me share a few observations on the federal-state relationship that should be the foundation of our conservation work together. During the last several years, the states and the service have made significant progress toward working together on national policies that support sound fish and wildlife management on refuges. Consistent with the Refuge System Improvement Act, the service has involved the states in the development of refuge policies, as a true statutory partner through intergovernmental personal act agreements. This cooperative work resulted in the development of several policies, including a new policy for coordination and cooperative work with state fish and wildlife agencies. That policy recognizes the state's authorities on refuges and outlines procedures by which the service will work cooperatively with the states to manage fish and wildlife on refuges. Consistent with that policy, the service provides state and fish and wildlife agencies timely and meaningful opportunities to participate in the development and implementation of refuge plans and programs. For example, in West Virginia, public fishing access and habitat enhancements have resulted from a successful partnership between the Ohio River Islands National Wildlife Refuge and our agency's Ohio River program. Bank fishing opportunities and access for physically challenged anglers are available next door to the refuge office. Bank stabilization and in-stream habitat in Ohio River back channels have also occurred, and more of these kinds of cooperative projects are planned for the future. A cooperative fisheries status report and plan for the upper Blackwater River was completed in 2007 by staff from West Virginia DNR, U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service Region 5 Fisheries Office, and the Canaan Valley Refuge and Canaan Valley Institute. We hope that this effort will guide future management strategies for this popular recreational fishery. We continue to work with refuge staff on improving hunter access on both Ohio River Islands and Canaan Valley. Deer management is a focus of these strategies, and population surveys have been funded by the Canaan Valley Refuge. A major habitat project for early successional species, especially woodcock, is occurring in Canaan Valley right now and involves the West Virginia DNR, refuge personnel, and private landowners. And we have participated in this national effort to develop a renewed vision for the refuge system. We served on the Vision Process Steering Committee and helped organize workshops at this conference, including workshops focused on strategic planning and establishing conservation priorities for the refuge system. This level of federal-state cooperation must continue as the service moves forward with finalizing, then implementing the renewed vision for the refuge system. I can assure you that the states are committed to this partnership. And I'll leave you with this. When Dan Ash found out that I would speak at this conference, he asked what the theme of my remarks would be. And all I said, Dan, it will be biblical. This was before he was confirmed, and I think he was just a little bit nervous. So to keep Dan off the edge of his seat, I ask you to include in your vision words from the Bible. Deuteronomy 22:6 talks about sustainable use and taking eggs out of a hen's nest. Deuteronomy 26:1 talks about land as an inheritance that we pass on to future generations. And then my personal favorite, Acts 10:13 says, rise, kill, and eat. Thank you, Dan, and rest easy. I don't have a handler.